Hello. Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to the live stream. I feel like it has been forever since I have seen you, because it really kind of has been. With no live stream last week because I was sick, right? There was no live stream last week. My whole last couple of weeks has been completely discombobulated because, for those of you that missed the memo, which I don't think any of you here would have, I have had, probably still have COVID. And everything was going swimmingly well, most mild case of COVID in the world, until the COVID nausea set in, which I didn't really know that was like truly a thing until I was talking to a couple people about it, and like, oh yeah, this strain, like specifically issues of the nausea and getting sick type, super common. I have not gotten sick, but the nausea, wow. The nausea. I was even feeling a little nauseous after dinner, and I'm like, please go away so I can do my live stream. Luckily, I feel okay now. So, but if for some reason I have to cut things short today, you'll know why. Hopefully it won't come to that, but it just is the reality of the life I've been living for like the last 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks since my positive test tomorrow, and it completely thwarted our plans. We're supposed to be in Florida right now. I am not in Florida, obviously. I am here. But we're going to make do. We're changing plans around, and it's going to be fine. And I actually get to decorate. I get to decorate my house with Christmas for a little bit this year, which I haven't gotten to do since 2019. So, silver lining, I suppose, to this situation, but I'm here, and we're going to get through this together, my friends. I'm so glad that you are here joining me for this. Andy is here. Hello. We've got Lissa here. I loved how you guys were chit-chatting away. Hello, Michelle. Good to see you. And Donna. Lauren, hello. It is good to see you. There wasn't one. Yeah, that's what I thought. I can't even remember, you guys. I can't even remember. And Lori is here. Hello. I literally at 6:59 got off of FaceTime with my family because today is my father's 66th birthday. And my father doesn't want for much. He doesn't, when you ask him, what do you want for your birthday? For nothing. I don't want nothing. He's a little bit of a humbug, a little bit of a grump. But they started, maybe it's going to be a tradition. I don't know. But last year they started the tradition. I don't know if it was his idea or my sister's idea or my niece's idea. I have no idea. But they put the number of candles that he was in age on his cake. And so last year was 65 candles. This year, it was 66 candles. So my mom FaceTimed in my sister, who lives about 40 minutes away from them, and me, so we could all sing happy birthday to him together and watch them literally set the cake ablaze with 66 candles. And there's my old man with a grin on his face because there's a big thing of fire in front of him, and he's having a great time with his 66 candles. And now they are picking wax off of the frosting. And my niece said something to me, or I guess in general, that made me very sad. And those words were, I don't like this kind of frosting. It is a vanilla cake with buttercream frosting on it. And both my other sister, Deanna, and I were both like, how can you not like buttercream? Buttercream frosting is the best frosting. And then we got into a whole conversation. My sister's husband was there. And I'm like, okay, Alice, what kind of frosting do you like? Chocolate. I'm like, well, you're not wrong. And then I'm like, but also whipped cream is the best frosting, or no, not whipped cream. Cream cheese frosting is the best frosting too. And I was like, so actually I could argue for all frostings. And then my sister's husband chimes in. He goes, whipped cream frosting sucks. And I was like, okay, you are right. Whipped cream does not belong on a cake. Does not belong on a cake ever. And so at least this is like a running theme in my family, and we are all in agreement on the types of frostings that can and should be used on a cake. And except Alice, who apparently doesn't like buttercream frosting. So I just have to teach her a little bit. We have to educate her in proper cake liking things. But so that was the conversation I literally had right before I hopped on here with y'all. Cake ablaze, dad grinning with the fire, no buttercream frosting. And then Alice told me she went on a field trip today to go see a play. So she had her first theater experience today, which makes my heart so stinking happy because and she was quoting it to me. So I was like, oh, maybe she likes this. Like, I would love nothing more than for my niece to get into the theater. I would love nothing more. It would make me so happy. My nephew, one of my nephews, is really involved in the theater, which is great. And we are a music theater family on both sides, which is amazing for me. And it proves that I'm married into the right family too. When I started, like, I've been married for almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years in January. And I don't remember exactly when this was, but it might have even been a couple of years ago. It might have even been during the pandemic. I can't remember. But we were down in Florida for something, and I'm in the kitchen doing something. And like my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, my husband, everybody's around. And out of nowhere, somebody that's not me starts singing a musical theater song. And everybody else but me, I wasn't singing along. Everybody else started singing this musical theater song, and I'm just standing there in the middle of this kitchen going, well, if I didn't think that I married into the right family before, this little moment that happened here definitely solidified the whole you married into the right family thing, because theater. Oh, I love the theater. I'm also on a theater high because I haven't been able to do much of anything. So here's the thing. The thing that made me nauseous while I was eating dinner was the fact that I had the audacity to do my job and empty the garbage cans and go take out the trash. And then I emptied and reloaded the dishwasher. That bit of movement was enough to make me nauseous. So I have not been doing anything active because if I don't move, it tends to be okay. The second I decide to move, it's not so okay. So I've had no activity, no nothing, and been doing a lot of TV watching because sometimes even coming upstairs to like do work and stuff, the 2 times I got really nauseous, I was up here in my office. So I'm like, I don't even know what to do with myself. So it's been a lot of television watching, and I found Smash, my favorite TV show, maybe of all time. Smash. Which is a TV show about the creation of a musical. It has so many stars in it, stars for the Broadway folk. I can't even tell you. The main characters are Catherine McPhee Foster, and she was on American Idol, and Megan Hilty, who I've seen in Wicked. I have her autograph somewhere in my Broadway nook. I saw her as my Glinda in Wicked, one of the many times I saw it. Christian Borle is in it, Brian Darcy James, Deborah Messing, Leslie Odom Jr. from Hamilton, the guy that played Burr, is in it. There are so many names in this TV show, and it is just my favorite TV show because it just scratches every musical theater itch ever. And so I'm in big music theater mode because I just finished the first season while I was eating dinner, and it was, ugh. It just makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. So big theater mode right now. Anyway, I digress. I love carrot cake with cream cheese frosting. Me too. Me too. It was definitely a fire hazard. When my mom said that they were doing that earlier, I'm like, did y'all decide to get a fire extinguisher for this situation? And the smoke detector did not go off. The magical thing about it, I don't know how he did this. He managed to blow them out in one blow. One puff, 66 candles. Poof, done. I was like, how did you do that? Old man? Old man. No offense to anybody here who's 66, but like my old man is an old man. Like he really is. So I was like, dang, your lungs still work really, really well. My favorite cake is eaten. Yes. Yes. March 2nd is 66 for me. 1 year left till 66 years and 8 months till retirement. 8 months. Oh my gosh, Lori, that's so exciting. Um, my favorite frosting is nothing but buttercream cheese frosting. Yeah. Um, I was gonna say theirs isn't buttercream, it's cream cheese, but yes. Sounds like a case of vertigo. Well, I would say no, but actually, so the first discernible symptom that I don't even think my husband knows about because by the time this happened, he and I had gone to bed in separate bedrooms. One of the first nights that I had COVID, like was testing positive, as I was getting ready for bed, I had a dizzy spell. Like dizzy spell, started to feel like I was going to pass out. So I laid on my bed. What like in the middle of getting ready for bed, I had to lay down. And I was like, okay, we're just gonna let it pass. And it only took a couple minutes and it passed. And then I was able to go on my merry way. And then nothing else happened until almost a week later when I started getting these nausea things. Are the two things related? I don't know. I don't know. It is not on Netflix. It is on the Roku channel, ROKU. And good news for anybody who's interested, it's a free channel. You can go to the Roku channel or roku.com or something like that, and you can watch it for free. On the computer, it does have ads. I downloaded the app onto my smart TV. There is no app for Apple devices. So I don't think there's one for the iPad or anything. There's definitely not one for the Apple TV. So Roku and Apple apparently are not friends. But because we use our Apple TVs on a smart TV, the actual smart TV interface, which is Samsung, does have a Roku app. So that's how I've been watching it on my TV. But you can just go to the web browser and watch it on there too. There are ads on there. But it's great. Those singing lungs of yours are genetic. Yes, but not from my dad's side. I mean, okay, that's not entirely true. My grandma was in choir the whole my whole life and probably longer. So maybe from that side too, but like I get my voice from my mom. So I don't know. Butter cream cheese frosting, it's not pure cream cheese frosting. Yeah, and I've actually seen some cream cheese frostings that actually have butter in them too. So it's not an uncommon thing for that to happen. 1 year, every member of this family lit their own menorahs on night 8 and it set off the smoke detector. Oh no. Oh no. Hanukkah's coming up soon for you guys, isn't it? It's early this year. When does Hanukkah start? I recall it being like I typically associate it with being pretty close to Christmas, and I remember this year hearing the date and going, "That's not close to Christmas at all." So y'all are celebrating well before we are, which is, I mean, awesome. Good for you. So December 7th. Okay, I couldn't remember if it was the 2nd or the 7th. But that feels pretty early this year. I tell you what. All right, friends. Let's do a little highs and lows. Let's do some sharing. If you are new here, this is the time where we get to share the highlights of our past week or 2 weeks, or in this case, Thanksgiving holiday weekend, whatever it is you want to share. I want to share, I want to hear about your highlights. And then I also, on the flip side, if you feel so inclined to share, would love to hear about your lows. What things are you struggling with? What's the meh thing that you kind of just want to get out there to get it in the open? And then we also talk about our wellness wins, where we talk about our big success on our wellness journey. And then our working on it is something that we are working on in our wellness journey or in life, I suppose. It could be just whatever it is we're working on in life at this given moment. So I want to hear all about your highs and lows and your wins and everything, my friends. So get typing away with that while I tell you mine. My high is that it's so hard because on one hand, I actually really enjoyed my Thanksgiving alone. So my husband went to Florida for Thanksgiving. He did. He left on Thanksgiving morning. Fun fact, actually not too expensive to travel on the day of Thanksgiving. Not at all what I would have anticipated, but like we actually got his tickets for a reasonable price. I was originally planning on going. In hindsight, I'm really glad I did not because with all of the nausea and the cough that came later, way later than we were expecting. I was feeling great on Thanksgiving. Like it was not a big deal at all. But a couple days afterwards is when things started to go downhill. So I'm really glad that I didn't end up in a position where I had to travel. So I guess my high is that I made the most out of my Thanksgiving by myself. And if you want to see what that looked like, I do have a vlog up of my Thanksgiving, but I made myself the cinnamon rolls. I even went downstairs and busted out a Christmas mug and a Christmas plate so I could have a festive morning. I watched the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and the dog show, and I made myself a little turkey Thanksgiving dinner for one with some turkey tenderloins that were like pre-done and pre-seasoned, and you just had to throw them in the oven. It was good. It was very good. And then my lovely, lovely small group leader brought over dessert for me because I didn't have any pecan pie and she made some. So she brought me dessert, which was really sweet of her. So sorry, evidently I'm getting winded. This is the first time that I will be speaking consecutively, nonstop for this period of time. So bear with me. It could get rough towards the end. I could potentially end up with a coughing fit. I brought up a cough drop just in case. Because the other thing that I noticed with my symptoms were I did develop a cough. It was not like a crazy intrusive cough, but it's one like if it gets started, there's a tickle that happens right here or right here. And if it triggers, it goes. But most of the time it's not triggered. But if I take a deep breath, and that was a very labored deep breath. I still feel like there's something in here, right here. Oh, there goes Gracie. You see her? There she is. What are you doing? What are you doing? She's not happy with the fact that I'm up here right now. She is giving me this stink eye. Oh, look at her. She's so cute. Anyway, so talking, it's going to get interesting. So just bear with me, my friends. Bear with me. My low is that I have COVID, but not just that. It's literally the COVID nausea. If the COVID nausea would just disappear, that would be amazing. Please and thank you. My wellness win, my wellness win is that I got my hair like styled. I did it. I showered yesterday and blow dried my hair. I have real clothes on. I have jeans on. I have shoes on. I have makeup on. This is the first day in weeks that I have done that. Weeks. And it feels really good. I filmed a video today. I led a healthy meeting today. I attended a seminar on virtually today. Like, I feel really good. All things considered. Still got nauseous a couple times today. Still winded. Still tired. But that is the best win that I could have possibly asked for. And then my working on it is just freaking getting back to normal. Getting back to normal, seeing what new normal might be for a while. I don't know how long this stuff is going to linger this time around. Who knows? So that's what I'm working on. Hopefully tomorrow might be a day where I'm working on getting on the elliptical machine. I did do one elliptical workout and it was very slow but it was fine. And that was like a week or so ago or something. So there's that. Those are mine. Let's see. The earliest it's ever started that I remember is the day after Thanksgiving. Wow. It's early. A change of diet, high, no weight to lose. Hey, there you go. That's a good high. Not sure I have any specific. I'm trying to come up with something. Did you have a good Thanksgiving? A friend invited you over for Thanksgiving. That's a high. Got to find the little things. There she is. Yeah. Hi, Gracie. She's just going to sit. There she is. She's guarding me. That's what she's doing. She's such a good little guard dog. Unfortunately, she couldn't actually protect me from anything, but boy, would that person hear about it, you know? Honey and lemon. Oh, I know. I literally, before I went to, and that for the cough, before I went to the store and actually got cough drops, I slept, no joke. I slept with the honey and a spoon beside my bed because what had been happening was I would get woken up in the middle of the night by one of my little dry spots and it would take about 20 minutes for it to go away. So I started sleeping with the honey by my bed because with my mask and everything that I wear, it's such a pain to get out of bed in the middle of the night. So I just had everything by my bedside table. Soothes the throat. Yep. I've been working on cutting back some of the outside noise when it comes to diet advice. Yes. Working on trusting that I actually know what I'm doing. I love that. So I got myself a special treat today. It was delivered. I'm going to be starting this. This is the intuitive eating workbook that goes along with or is associated with. It's by the same women who wrote the book on intuitive eating, the Intuitive Eating and Anti-Diet Approach, 4th edition. But this is actually a workbook, and I'm real excited about diving into that and just taking a more journaling type and reflective type approach to things. But I agree with you, like the outside noise. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad the outside noise is gone. I did my goal setting this week, for 2024. And my goals are done, and my health goal explicitly states, without dieting. No dieting. There will be no dieting in 2024. And you know what? That feels real good. That feels real nice. And I cannot remember the last time that I was going to that I set goals that did not involve some expectation of dieting or weight loss. And it's almost like alarming. The sensation is almost alarming that I'm like, "Oh, but what do I do if I don't have a diet specific goal?" And I have plenty of ideas. I have plenty of health goals, fitness goals. I'm going hardcore in 2024, and that rhymes and it makes me very happy. I've got plenty of health related goals happening in 2024, but not a single one of them involves tracking my food or meeting certain macros or eating a certain number of calories. And that is freedom at a new level that I have never experienced as an adult. And I kind of love it. I'm not going to lie. Kind of love it. My low is that I can't adopt a kitten named Lissa. My low is I need 2 root canals and insurance will pay for it all. What do you change insurance? I might need a bank loan. Oh no. Oh no. The dental stuff, man. Dental will get you. When I got home to find a second compound bow, it's camo flavored. Flavored? You have a flavored bow? Yeah. So it's super exciting. I used to have it. Not sure if I'm going to buy a new copy because part of that outside noise I'm cutting back on includes the IE noise. Cause that's a great idea. Honestly, that's a great idea. And I think more people need to do that. And I think you have to have the self-awareness to know if and how outside advice is affecting you, right? One of the reasons that I'm doing this is because I'm somebody who is actively creating content about the intuitive eating lifestyle. But one thing that I have had a handle on from the very beginning is making intuitive eating my own and not letting a specific someone or something or book define what intuitive eating means to me, and allowing myself that freedom to be able to define it for myself and take the parts that serve me and the parts that don't serve me and being able to separate those. I'm not somebody who's going to be like, well, this is exactly what the book says, therefore this is the only way. No, it doesn't work with dieting. It's not going to work with anti-dieting either. I'm convinced, and I say this time and time and time again, I'm convinced that there is a gray area. There is a full spectrum in between the one extreme and the other. And so with that understanding of the book can tend to encourage people to lean into the other extreme. And I already know, and I've already put up that boundary of I'm not going to be pigeonholed into that extreme either. Right? So I get to decide what intuitive eating means to me. It means I'm not tracking. It means I'm not weighing. What it doesn't mean is that I am disobeying hunger signals, or not honoring hunger signals, or dishonoring fullness signals, things of that nature, to the best of my ability. And it means, and we had this discussion a little earlier in my healthy meeting, but it means that for me personally, I want to focus primarily on physical hunger and physical fullness and not lean on taste hunger or emotional hunger or those other hungers as often, even though in the book they describe those as being completely fine and acceptable. For me, I know that I can abuse those rules, and knowing that about myself means those are not rules that I necessarily want to cling to. There will always be exceptions. And as with everything, there will be exceptions. I love the phrase, I heard this on a podcast that I listened to, no nuance Nelly. And how we all need to not be no nuance Nellies. Like, obviously, everything has a little bit of nuance to it, and it's not all 100% one way or the other. But as a general rule, where one might justify an action because of taste hunger and not physical hunger, I don't necessarily want to use that as justification in my journey, because I'm working through other things at the moment that it would behoove me to focus on the mindfulness and the physical hunger and physical fullness cues and things of that nature. So it'll be interesting to see as I go through this book what I learn, what I reflect on, what things serve me and what things don't. It'll be really interesting. It'll be really interesting. Why unconditional permission to eat is vital. The deprivation setup. Huh. Yeah, it'll be really interesting. I slipped an accent. Oh no, you timed out Donna. How did you do that? Can I fix that? How long did you time her out for? Let me see if I can fix it. If I can find my live stream. Oh no, Donna, we know you're still here. We know you're still here. Lisa accidentally abused her power. I'm kidding. You did not abuse your power. Let me see if I have the power to bring her back or not. Maybe not, but we'll see. Anyway, y'all, what do y'all want to talk about this evening? Is there anything on your minds? Oh, here we go. View deleted message. Can I undelete her? Hide user, add as moderator. No, it just says put her in timeout. Nope. I can't reverse it, I don't think. So hopefully the timeout is quick. Because it doesn't look like I can reverse it. 5 minutes. Oh, man. Donna, you'll be back in 5 minutes. I promise. She timed you out and I can't reverse it. Flavor tastes awful to be on the point end. Yeah, I imagine. I literally just bumped my mouse. Oh, man. Oh, man. My high was having my brother and sister-in-law here for Thanksgiving. My low was a good friend and former neighbor had a massive stroke on Tuesday and passed away on Friday. She was in my 43, or she was 43. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's so horrible. I'm so sorry to hear that, Lori. My prayers and thoughts go out to the family and to you for losing a friend. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's definitely a low. Oh man, that's no good. That is no good at all. Oh, what a bummer. What a bummer. I'm so sorry. So what sort of things are there to talk about? So first of all, I think my first outing post this madness right here is going to be a trip to Trader Joe's. And I'm so excited because all of the holiday stuff is out. Like, Christmas is upon us. Oh, she's back. Ladies and gentlemen, Donna is back. Hallelujah. How did you manage to get back in? How did that happen? That wasn't 5 minutes. Oh, amazing. She's back. Good. Good. Oh my goodness. The power of bumping a mouse, huh? Good heavens. This has literally never happened. No, it hasn't. No, it has not. One time I accidentally bumped a thing that restarted my countdown timer, which made things really interesting, but I've never done anything like that. Fascinating. So, things that have any of you been over to Trader Joe's and seen anything interesting lately? I just heard that Jingle Jangle is back. And do you know what's going to be a lot of fun? Intuitively eating with Jingle Jangle. For those of you that don't know, Jingle Jangle comes in this beautiful green tin. Like, it's a nice tin. It's one of those tins that, those butter cookie tins from years ago. I don't know. Maybe they still make them exactly like they used to years ago. But those blue, like, Danish butter cookie tins that everybody keeps, and it typically turns into like a sewing kit or something that stays up in the hall closet. It's like that. It's like that kind of quality, if not even better quality, and it's this beautiful dark green tin that says Jingle Jangle on it, and it is a mix of, um, the sewing supply tins. Yes, exactly, the sewing supply tins. The thing where you expect cookies and then it ends up being a sewing kit, 100%. But the Jingle Jangle has, um, peanut butter cups, chocolate covered like marshmallows. There might be some nuts in there. There's chocolate covered pretzels in there. It's like a Christmassy chocolatey trail mix. And the first time I had it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the greatest stuff in the world. How have I never tried this before?" But it's also something that in a previous life, and a not so far off previous life, would be something that I'd be like, this is not something I can control myself around. This is it is or it's 30 calories for I don't remember what the serving size is, a quarter of a cup, maybe a third of a cup, something like that. Something that feels like not fair, you know? And in the past, that would definitely be oh, I shouldn't buy this. I shouldn't, or I can't control myself around it or whatever. This year is different. And I am so excited about it because I can get my jingle jangle. And the best part about the way that I have been approaching some intuitive eating stuff, especially with desserts, is actually like taking the whole package, doing things that are totally contrary to the rules of dieting, where you pull out your serving and then you put the bag away, right? I have found that with things that come in bags or things that come in tins or whatever, it is often in my best interest from an intuitive eating approach to bring the whole bag with me. Why? Because I'm a member of the Clean Plate Club. I love to eat everything that's on my plate, in my bowl, whatever the case may be. What happens if I pull out a serving, right? And about halfway through that serving, an unmeasured serving, to be clear, not weighing or measuring anything. But halfway through, whatever it is I decided to dish myself, my body goes, "You're done. You don't need to have this anymore." It is a lot harder for me mentally and emotionally to put back the treat that I have dished instead of just closing up the container. It is much easier for me to go 1 cookie, 2 cookie, 3 cookie, think I'm good, great, instead of plating 5 cookies and stopping at the 3. I know it maybe doesn't make sense. It might not make sense, but I tell you what, um, it works for me. It works for me. And it's one of those things like it's so interesting because old school me would have done the exact opposite and been convinced that I do not have control. And one thing that I have learned recently or had reiterated to me recently that is an reminder that I want to remind y'all of is you are 100% in control of your actions, my friends. And I take that to heart when I like this. I am in control of choose to put on my plate or not put on my plate, eat or not eat, or whatever the case may be. And Jennifer, hello. Recommendations on the IE workbook. Don't write in the book. Use I've gone through the book 4 times and discussed. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. That's actually really helpful. And I will do just that. I will go ahead and get myself a notebook or get myself like I need to go out and buy a notebook to have a blank one. I will use a notebook in conjunction with this. And I thought about that. I'm like, oh, I like it. And I like that I can work right there in it. But I also like there's a quiz in here. Um, Oh, I just thought of an interesting thing that we could do together, friends. That I was going to write the answers in, and I'm like, but I don't want to write in it. It's too pretty. So that's actually a great recommendation. Thank you for that. Um, you can't stop at 3 Jaffa cakes, but that's my point, Andy. You can. You can. Um, And I actually said the same thing to my husband the other day. We were talking about it, and I was talking about going to Trader Joe's, and he's like, "Great, but only get a couple of treats," because he's like, "I can't handle having all the treats in the house." And he just made a comment of like, "I have no control," and I was like, "Yes, you do. You just choose not to exercise it." He didn't like that I gave him that comment, but he's like, okay, fine. I choose not to exercise it, and it's easier for me if the stuff isn't in the environment. And I was like, that's a fair argument, but I just wanted to make it clear that you are, in fact, in control of your actions. You're just choosing not to take that control. And he accepted those terms. He did not like it, but he accepted those terms, and still told me to only pick up a treat or two at Trader Joe's. So I have what it is that I want to get from Trader Joe's, but I think Jingle Jangle's definitely going to be one of those things. So stinking excited about it. Oh shoot, I had my finger in the thing because I thought it would be interesting. Shoot, where did it go, y'all? Here we go. I think this is interesting. So I want to just do the one little section. So they have an assessment scale in here where you actually rank yourself on different parts of intuitive eating. Unconditional permission to eat, eating for physical rather than emotional reasons. Ooh, that's a good one too. Reliance on internal hunger and satiety cues, body food choice congruence. So I just thought that it might be fun if we answer these together. You don't have to share if you don't want to. They're yes or no questions. Unconditional permission to eat. I try to avoid foods high in fat, carbs, or calories. Yes or no? If I am craving a certain food, I don't allow myself to have it. Yes or no? I get mad at myself for eating something unhealthy. Yes or no? I have forbidden foods that I do not allow myself to eat. Yes or no? I don't allow myself to eat what food I desire at the moment. Yes or no? I follow eating rules or diet plans that dictate what, when, and how to eat. Yes or no? And if you answered yes, those are you saying you are not giving yourself unconditional permission to eat, just for the record. Super interesting, right? Like, did any of you go, oh, did any of you feel the diet culture run through your veins with that? Most of the time, no. Excellent, Michelle. Excellent. What is Trader Joe's? Trader Joe's is a grocery store here in the United States that is all 98% of it, I think, is its own brand of stuff. So you go and you buy Trader Joe's branded products with the occasional like off-brand, meaning different brand protein bar in the protein bar section or something. But most of the stuff in their store is Trader Joe's only. So you can't like go to Walmart and find Trader Joe's products. Trader Joe's has its own stuff, and all of their stuff. I have only had one thing in Trader Joe's that I have not liked. And that is their JoJo's, their JoJo Thins. I thought that they would be like Oreo Thins, but there's something in the cookie of the JoJo. I think it's the espresso that I don't like. Yeah, it's kind of like Aldi. Yeah. So it's a store you primarily go to buy convenience food, snacks and convenience foods. Yes and no. I know a lot of people that do all of their grocery shopping at Trader Joe's because you can buy raw meat, you can buy raw vegetables, you can buy grains that you need to cook. Like, it's a grocery store. It's a grocery store. It's not just for convenience foods. You can do all the grocery shopping, and their meat is always high quality. Like, everything that I've had there has always been high quality. Even the stuff that I have not liked, which is the one, like, okay, I prefer Oreo cookies to JoJo's. It is what it is. It is what it is. Speaking of Oreo cookies, a text message that my husband sent me when he was in Florida was, I asked my father to go buy Oreo cookies because I guess his dad was running to the store, and he came home with regular Oreo cookies. They're almost not worth eating. which I thought was so funny because like in this house, no regular Oreo cookie comes into this house. No, no. If I'm buying regular Oreo cookies, they are at least double stuff. They are at least double stuff, or they're an Oreo cookie that's like a limited edition flavor. And I find that like the flavored Oreos have a little bit more cream in them than the good old OG Oreo cookies. And I just thought it was so funny that my husband's like, they're not even worth eating, really. Like, they're just not. I don't know why he brought the regular Oreos home. I was like, well, did you specify? Did you say, hey, double stuff maybe? I don't know. I don't know what he expected his dad to do. But anyway, yes. Yes. So I thought that was an interesting, it's an interesting little assessment that kind of makes you feel called out. And there was more in the assessment stuff too. What might be another fun one for us to do? How about the emotional eating section? The emotional eating one. Yes or no? Yes or no? I find myself eating when I'm feeling emotional, anxious, sad, depressed, etc., even when I'm not physically hungry. Yes or no? I find myself eating when I'm lonely, even when I'm not physically hungry. I had that issue the other day. I use food to help soothe my negative emotions. I find myself eating when I'm stressed out, even when I'm not physically hungry. I am not able to cope with my negative emotions, anxiety and sadness, etc., without turning to food for comfort. When I'm bored, I eat just for something to do. When I'm lonely, I turn to food for comfort. I have difficulty finding ways to cope with stress and anxiety other than by eating. Okay, so I feel like a couple of these were repeats. I don't think we needed 8 questions. But what are we feeling, y'all? What are we feeling? Cuz this is some heavy stuff, isn't it? This is some heavy stuff. Reliance on internal hunger and satiety cues. Yes or no? I trust my body to tell me when to eat. I trust my body to tell me what to eat. I trust my body to tell me how much to eat. I rely on my hunger signals to tell me when to eat. I rely on my fullness/satiety signals to tell me when to stop eating. I trust my body to tell me when to stop eating. What about those, y'all? What about those? This is just stuff to kind of get your gears turning a little bit. Because what I do feel like it does is it kind of pokes at you and goes, like it's like, do you feel the diet culture? Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Huh? You? Do you feel it? Kind of provoking, isn't it? You're like, oh, rude of you. And what's interesting is as I was reading through that, the me from July, which is when I started this, would have answered very differently than the me who was just running through those answers in my head. Very differently. Because a lot of those answers have changed. A lot of those answers have changed in the however many months it's been. 6 months, 5 months, however long it's been. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? It's an interesting thing. Thank you so much for your well wishes. So, yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Yes, yes, and yes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Last time I was in Aldi, I spoke German from time to time. Nice. Nice. They don't actually speak German in our Aldi stores. Unfortunately, and actually fortunately, because I do not know German. I only know a couple of words in German. I know how to say I love you in German. I know how to say thank you and you're welcome. And I know how to say no in German. Because my mom is German, actually. So my mom and my aunt both know German reasonably well. They never used it around us. But so I know how to say those things in German. I think that if I wait till I'm hungry, I think I'd eat too little. You think that, but what makes you think that? What makes you think that? Yeah, I know it's a German story, Andy. What makes you think that? Because here's the thing, and this is the whole thing, right? The whole idea of that last section of trusting our body to tell us when, what, and how much to eat. For those of us that have been dieting and tracking for a long period of time, We let everything except our bodies tell us what, when, and how much to eat. We let the apps tell us how much to eat. We let suggestions on meal timings and other people's methods of doing things and what we should be doing dictate when we eat, right? Things like intermittent fasting can dictate when we eat, even if we're hungry. Um, all of those things. How much to eat. And that's fine. And that's fine. So that here's the thing. Your body is not going to let you starve yourself. If you're truly listening to your body, do you think it's going to make you undereat? No. It's not. It's not going to make you undereat. There are days, I've had both of these days, right? There are days where I eat so very little. So compared to what I ate when I tracked. Compared to what I ate when I tracked, I would eat bizarrely little. Like we're talking like 2 meals and a snack all day. Like breakfast wouldn't be until like 10:30 or 11. Then I'd end up eating lunch at like 4 or 3:30, and then I wouldn't want to eat dinner. And then there are days where like that one day that I was like, I'm freaking ravenous. And I ate 7 times that day. And not like, oh, I took a few potato chips and that counts as one. No, I sat down, I had a breakfast, lunch, dinner 1, dinner 2, dessert, a healthy eating on the go bar, and probably some other protein bar because I was completely insatiable that day. And all because I was listening to my body. So if I have days like that and I eat when I'm hungry, and I have days where I only eat when I'm hungry and I eat a little bit, they're going to even themselves out. My body is not going to starve itself. So it's on me to honor those signals because it can get real wishy-washy, especially for people that are afraid of eating too much. They can convince themselves that they're not hungry, or they can convince themselves that they are satisfied when really they're not. But if you're being completely honest about it, your body's not going to starve you. Nuh-uh. It was built to be smarter than that, for sure. I struggle with trusting my body's hunger signals because I often don't recognize them outside of extremes. Some days are easier than others. Yeah, and you also have to recognize that some hunger signals are not, it's not tummy growling. For me, the last couple of days, my hunger signal, I haven't been able to wait until I've been like grumbly. My hunger signal has been nausea. If I start to get nauseous and it's been a little bit since I've eaten, I have to eat some crackers because keeping a little sustained amount of food in my system is what works for me right now. My husband gets headaches when he's hungry, or he gets real grumpy when he's hungry. He doesn't necessarily have the physical hunger. He feels it in other places that indicates to him that he needs to eat something. It's typically a headache for him. So he doesn't have necessarily the normal hunger and fullness signals. So he's getting better, I think, at listening to his fullness signals because things I've noticed in him since I have started intuitively eating is he eats a lot slower at the dinner table. He eats slower than I do. That is something that I need to work on. Truly, I need to work on being much more slow with my meals. Because quite frankly, I'd probably eat less if I was slower. But it's a hard habit for me to break, and so I'm working on it. But he eats a lot slower. So like I'll be done with dinner and he'll still have a third of his plate left. And he's also leaving things behind. And he didn't used to do that. So it's interesting because he's learning to listen to his fullness signals first and then his hunger signals. But they're different. They're different. And not everybody's hunger signals are the same. And I think that's important to acknowledge and accept that what might look like hunger for me might not look like hunger for you. And I'm full of dirty on steak and all the trimmings. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, that's what we can do. One day and your body will even it out, right? Your body will even out. If you have a day where you go a little bit overboard on something, right? You're not hungry the next day, right? If you've overnourished your body, if there's too much hanging out in there, odds are you're not going to be hungry for a more extended period of time, right? I know you had a recent experience with that where you're like, I'm not hungry. And it made perfect sense because you overindulged the night before. Our bodies tell us if we're willing to listen. Our bodies tell us a lot of things if we're willing to listen. When I started to tune into my body from a cycle syncing perspective, I got a lot more insight into so many things that it's actually crazy that if I take the moment to listen to my body, I can understand exactly what's happening. I have been so I it's been really interesting to me how especially the last couple of months, I have been able to call out PMS before I've had like an extreme PMS reaction to it. Like I've been able to be like, wow, I feel a little just like I feel the urge to be snippy, the urge to be angry, the urge to not want to deal with people. And before I actually have some sort of explosive reaction to it, I'm able to take a step back and go, "Huh, I'm I'm feeling a little imbalanced in things. What is going on?" And then I realize, like I can pick up my phone and look at a calendar and go, "Oh, that's what's happening." So the more you're willing to pay attention, the more your body will tell you. But we've gotten so very used to turning off our body signals and ignoring our body signals and doing things in spite of our body's signals that our body's just like, well, I'm not going to talk to her anymore. It's fine. We'll just do what we do and we won't communicate with her. And so it takes time for all of those signals and for that open line of communication to come back into play for your body. But I know the interception can be challenging with neurodivergence. Yeah, my husband has ADHD. And I'm better at recognizing when I'm done eating, though impulsiveness is still an issue and I still need structure when it comes to eating, when it comes to hunger and knowing when to eat. Yeah, and it's everybody needing to figure out what things need to mean for them, right? Like I said, my husband's like, please don't bring extra food in the house because I can't control myself. And when I called him out, he still was like, okay, that's fine. I don't control myself, but please still don't bring the things into the house. And so he knows what his guardrails and his boundaries need to be in order for him to be most successful. He knows. And I admire that quality about him, frankly. My husband is definitely a questioner than a upholder. That man is an excellent upholder. He really is. If he wasn't such a textbook questioner, I would think he was an upholder. So he is most definitely a questioner, but man, is that boy an upholder. If he says he's going to do it, if he says, I'm going to work out every day after work before I do anything, it doesn't matter if he doesn't stop working until 7 p.m. He goes downstairs and he works out first. He goes downstairs. I'm literally the one that has to convince him. If he looks at me and he goes, well, I have a headache. I don't feel great. I'm like, then why are you going to work out? Because he's so disciplined in what he needs to do that it's sometimes hard for him to not do the thing, even if he shouldn't be doing the thing. And I tell you what, I admire that quality in him. And I so wish that I just realized that when I see Andy say buffering, he's actually using that new emoji that I can't see on StreamYard. But he's so disciplined and it makes me go, I wish that I was more of an upholder. I'm working on it. One of my goals, because I am 100% in control of my own actions. One of the goals, I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. One of my Power Sheets goals. Well, how did I word it? Hang on, I want to make sure I say exactly how I worded it. I can't remember if I kept it simple or if I used 2 words. Hang on, I'm going to end up bumping the camera. Hang on. Ooh, there we go. Aren't they pretty? I just couldn't resist. I had to dive into them. I had to. Where are my goals? Oh my gosh, where are my goals? I'll just break it down as after the goals. Excuse me. Become a finisher and expert in follow through. Literally written on my goals. I can't decide if I'm going to tell my husband that that is a goal of mine this year because he will be elated to hear that. And here's the thing. I understand. So rewind. Apparently there are personality traits. according to Gretchen Rubin. One pair of personality traits is you're either an opener or you're a finisher. And an opener likes to, I like to use jars of peanut butter as the example. If I get a new order of Nerdy Nuts peanut butter and it's got 4 really exciting flavors, your girl is going to open every single freaking jar and stick a spoon in and try every single flavor because I am an opener. I want 3 flavors of everything active at all times because I want options. A finisher, aka my lovely husband, opens one thing, finishes that one thing without qualms, without so much as a curiosity about what the other one tastes like. He'll get to it when he's done with the previous thing. I have 2 ice cream flavors open in the freezer right now, and it drives him crazy. Why couldn't I just wait to do the other one? I'm like, what if I didn't want to eat the other one? What if the hot cocoa one was calling to me and all you have is the cookie crumble one? I need options. This is a personality dispute that we did not realize would cause tension in our marriage. Not like crazy tension or anything, but like my husband and I, we're not fighters. We do not fight with each other. We bicker, but we don't fight. Um, a lot of our bickering has to do with opener and finisher stuff because I want all of the snacks from Trader Joe's all at once. My husband says, go to Trader Joe's, buy 1 or 2, and then go back and buy the other ones. You don't need them all at once. And it is literally just a wiring that he has a wiring that I can't understand. So my goal is not to rewire my brain, but it is to put forth more effort to be more like the finisher because being a finisher just makes so much more sense. It makes so much more sense to just open one thing or only buy one at a time. Only buy one at a time, with some exceptions being like the limited edition flavors. And I did tell him this. I was like, if I go to Trader Joe's, I'm probably going to buy several of the Christmas things just because the next time I go, they might not be there. Now, the stuff that's there all the time or most of the time, I worry less about. I have been wanting to bring home the carrot cake sandwich cookie things. They're like carrot cake cookies with cream cheese frosting in the middle. I've been wanting to bring those home for like 2 years, but every time I look at them, well, I've only looked at them a couple times since I've dived into intuitive eating. And I looked at them the first time and I said, when I don't have anything else to bring home, you're coming home with me. The other times it's just been, oh, so many calories. Don't care anymore. They'll be delicious when I do eat them. But oh my goodness, it's just those personality traits. So one of the things that I'm working on is going to be a finisher and be better about follow through. Make fewer promises to myself, but show up and actually do them and follow through with them completely. This is going to be put to a challenge, especially in not just work, because I do show up and do what I need to do on like creating content and everything, but like some of my physical goals is going to be like do an entire round of lift 4 and then do an entire round of lift more. That's lift more is what, 12 weeks? That's like 20 weeks worth of stuff right there that I need to commit to and follow through on. And it's just one of those things like the more you begin to finish, the more you begin to follow through, be it a single jar of peanut butter or bringing home one flavor of something at a time or doing a workout program or whatever, insert your thing that you need to finish here. The more you finish, the easier it will be to continue to finish. So that is why I have that as a goal this year, because I think it's not just about buying too many flavors of things at a grocery store. It's about all of the intentionality and purpose and everything behind it that I think is going to be very, very good. Go ahead, fall asleep, Donna. That's fine. Henry Kissinger. I feel like I'm supposed to know who that is, and I don't know who that is. I just added a new extension that got rid of the stupid heart icon. Nice. I dump all of my heat bars in one giant basket so I can rotate between different flavors. I have to force myself to finish things. Yeah, me too. Heat bars, it's not really an issue though, because I only buy flavors that I love. So I'm just like, oh, I feel like this one today. Oh, I feel like this one today. It's harder when it's something you have to actively like open and break the seal on. My husband doesn't care if I buy 3 flavors of healthy eating on the go bars because I'm gonna eat them, so it doesn't matter. But like opening the 2 ice cream flavors, he's like, the other one's gonna get freezer burned. And then the other thing is I'm just bad at finishing things in general. I'm not allowed to open bottles of wine anymore. Why? Because I don't finish the bottle of wine in a timely manner. I will be in the mood for 1 glass of wine, one Saturday evening, and then I won't want wine again for another 7 weeks. And he's not a wine drinker. So now I even like the little bottles of like sparkling rosé, I have to get little bottles, single serve bottles. Unfortunately for me, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but like there's no decent quality wine in single serve bottles. If you can find some, let me know. Because my husband's like, I would rather pay the premium price for you to get a single serving of something than for you to buy the full size bottle and not finish it. And I'm like, that's fair. So it is an applicable goal to everything, to literally everything in my life. So we have to have boundaries behind it. Like I can open 2 jars of peanut butter so I have a bit of variety. But if I have to finish a jar before I open a new one, I tend to hyperfixate on food. Like a dessert, and then I get bored of it and I never finish it. It's an issue. Yeah, so I'm going to be working on that. And here's the thing, especially now with like the intuitive eating thing, like I have desserts and stuff that are just in my house that I still haven't finished my pumpkin pie slice from Thanksgiving. So it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I'm very excited to be working on this. We have some carrot cake cookies at work. I always wanted to know if they were soft. Well, the sticker got stuck in a plastic bag while bagging and half of them fell out. So they're soft. Nice. Carrot cake cookies sounds so good. So good. Can you get Neapolitan ice cream? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Neapolitan was a classic. My grandparents used to buy Neapolitan ice cream all the time. All the time. And then at the time, as a child, I did not care for strawberry ice cream. So I never wanted the Neapolitan ice cream because I just wanted the chocolate ice cream that was in the middle. True story. True story. And that's great. And that's great. So my husband would say, if you pull the Kringle out, finish the Kringle before you move on to other things. It's a work in progress. That's a sneaky peek into some of my big picture goals for 2024. It'll be a work in progress, and I'm super, super excited about it. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what kind of other goals I set in order to help me with that overarching goal. It's very exciting times. I'm so excited about all of my goals, and I'm so excited about the extensive list of other goals that I have made as well. I brainstormed a list of goals, and I wrote 36 goals out, which is crazy. So it's gonna be a fun year. I'm really excited about it. Anyway, it is 8 o'clock, my friends. I'm going to let you all go because I can hear my voice starting to go. This has been the longest I have spoken in a very, very long time. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you all next Wednesday. Take care, guys.